What do I mean when I say emotional release techniques are stealing your gains? Today we are going to talk about emotional release techniques are stealing your gains. What do I mean by that? Now, it's important before we continue that if you have a practice or anything else that is working for you, that is absolutely fine. I'm not telling you to change anything. None of this is medical advice. This video is for people who are ready to venture into deeper aspects of their awakening. People who are ready to put techniques to one side. People who don't feel the urge to read any more books. People who have just maybe been round the merry-go-round a few times and just realised that a lot of these things maybe don't have the same gravitas that they once had, and that's okay. And if you are watching this still, and you're wondering what I mean by how emotional release techniques are stealing your gains, listen up. Again, there is nothing wrong with using emotional release techniques. They are so powerful. But the predicament we're up against is they can become a crutch, or they can become a distraction, or they can just frustrate you because you might not even know how to do them effectively. You're likely not in any of those camps if this video is resonating with you and you're intrigued by what I have to say. Pragmatic presence in a nutshell, it's about raw form practice. It's not better than others, but can be deeply potent and effective. And from my experience of nearly 2 decades of doing this kind of thing, and 10,000 hours meditation, alongside everything else, all the books I've read, everyone I've learned from, everything I've applied to my own clients, which is hundreds, this right here is something that could really help you awaken, expand your consciousness, allow you to really experience more from this human life. And that's what I want everyone to experience. The approach to this is just a simplified technique. We're not demonizing techniques. This is just a more straightforward way of accessing or using what you already have as a tool instead of looking for another tool. Repeat, this is using what you already have as a tool instead of looking for something else as a tool. It's so easy to bypass the most powerful, empowering things we can do with meditation, and we overcomplicate it. And in the beginning, we kind of need to overcomplicate it to find out that it can actually be very, very simple. And again, this video is for you people that have done that or are coming to a point where you're realizing and understanding that's the truth in this. Just for a bit more insight into why these emotional release techniques can steal your gains, is because if there's ever an emotion coming up and you're wanting to do something to get rid of the emotion, or to not honor it, or to feel like there is a person that needs fixing, that can work on so many levels. But you see the nuance behind this and the predicament that you are willfully putting yourself in. You can just feed a sense of self by constantly reminding yourself that the emotion needs to be avoided, or I need to get rid of it, or I need to do something about it to feel better. And oftentimes, emotional release techniques are feeding the identity that is wanting to change. And that's, for a lot of us, can just create more barriers in between actually awakening from mind identification. It can literally reinforce identification with the self that you think needs healing. If you're still here and watching, and this is making more and more sense to you, your practice with presence should absorb every emotion. Repeat, your practice with presence should absorb every emotion. Practice with presence is meditation. One of the most powerful transformations you could have is learning to sit with emotion and being unbothered by it. This is not disassociation, right? And this won't be for everybody wherever they're at on their journey. But the real transmutation of emotion and awakening comes from being able to sit with whatever it is and not act on it. Your only action is deliberate surrender to whatever is arising and allowing it to be for as long as it needs to be. If you adopt that principle into your practice, you will get so much more bang for your buck, instead of just choosing to piss away an opportunity every time it arises. See those emotions that arise as, literal blessings, as a chance for you to expand your consciousness every time. That's all I learned to do in the end was, after I'd been around the merry-go-round, as I said, that all I needed to do was sit in presence. And the stronger the emotion I felt, the more reward I would get from it. The more I allowed the emotion to flow, the more reward I would get from it. So instead of putting all that effort into trying to let go, I bet that sounds familiar, doesn't it? And it sucks. Let it burn through you. Let it dissolve. Just absorb it. Just sit with it. It will be very uncomfortable. But instead of bypassing the opportunity for real freedom, why don't you start honoring those opportunities when they arise? And eventually, I've said this in my videos previously, there'll be no pain or emotion left to heal, because the you that is identified with all those painful emotions will dissolve alongside everything that you honor in your present surrender. And what comes after that is quite fucking incredible. To recap on catharsis to consciousness, emotional charge is rocket fuel for awakening when you honor it instead of trying to escape it. This is not going to apply to everyone. Only the people that I say are ready for something really simple and direct and straightforward. Eventually, many of you will see that you don't need to turn your pain into a therapy project anymore. Also love therapy, it's incredible. But eventually, that will be you. And then eventually, you will start to welcome all of the pain that comes. And you'll see it as a presence project that's only going to deepen your consciousness and your expansion into this human existence. And again, I'm not saying don't process or think or anything about emotions. This is not about bypassing. This is not encouraging you to stop trying to make sense of how you feel. Absolutely not. It's the opposite. If you move away from these emotional release techniques and just sit and bake, marinade, whatever you'd like to call it, whatever emotion arises, you will just become so present that you can hold all of them infinitely. And that, my friends, will lead you to some incredible freedom. Only love.